Justin, my aspiring teen chef. We're back for another episode of Aspiring Teen Chefs. Today we're going to deal with the mighty potato, one of the world's most versatile foods. You can use it as a main, you can use it as a side, you can even use it as a dessert. My grandma used old mashed potatoes, and she made a recipe of donuts, which she called spudnuts. Very delicious, although it makes about 1 million donuts, but they are very delicious. So we're using our from the garden potatoes this year. So these are our potatoes from our garden. Justin did an amazing job scrubbing them, because this is basically what they looked like before Justin got a hold of them. This year we had a really good crop of potatoes, and quite frankly, they're delicious. All right, well, we're not going to use this dirty potato. I just wanted to show you what our potatoes look like. This is how we store them. Keeps them from going green because it keeps the sunlight off the skin, and plus we store them in a cold room in the basement. And we're going to deal with our nice clean potatoes. So the first step in making oven roast potatoes, after you scrub them, I don't peel the potatoes. I actually like them with peels on. Some people don't. My mom, for example, she doesn't like potato peels, so she always peels hers. But I like peels on, so we're going to make ours with peels on. Everybody in the house seems to like peels on, am I right?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is my handy dandy little cutting tool that I use for my oven roast potatoes. Don't worry if you don't have anything like this, a plain old knife will do. So but if you can see, I don't know if you can see very well, but if you can see, it's got like a crinkly edge. I like it because it tends to keep the butter from falling off of your potatoes when they're roasting. And what you need to do is you need to cut your potato into 8 sections. So I'm going to do one, and then I'm going to have Justin do the rest. And while he's doing that, I'm going to get the butter on to start melting. So first you just very carefully, I always put the back edge down on the cutting board so that you don't, it doesn't slip. I just push forward and it cuts. Oh, my cutting board's a little crooked. Okay, and so cutting it into 4s now. There we go. Now we have to cut them into 8s. So you have to kind of come from the side and just angle it down to where your corner is. We're going to cut this sucker into 8 pieces. You don't want them too thick. The thicker they are, the longer they take to cook. This is actually can be quite a quick recipe. So you know what? If you don't have a lot of time to get something on, or if you're super starving, then you can cut them up quickly. So Justin, I'm just going to throw these in the bowl, and I'm going to have you give her a shot.
Okay.
Rest the back edge on the cutting board, and maybe put your thinner side towards you, the smaller side of the potato towards you. And what I like to also do, sorry Justin, is I just like to find a place where the potato's kind of resting, so I don't have to balance the potato. It's already balancing on its own. Watch your fingers, because when it goes, it'll go quickly.
Okay.
There we go. Oh, we got a bad potato. So we're going to put that little baby aside. Good thing I have an extra potato. Now normally what you want is about 1 potato per person. That's usually a normal serving size. When I used to cater, we calculated 3/4 of a potato per person. But that's because we usually had lots of sides. Awesome. So cut them in half, and then get those down to 1/4. Excellent. Try and use the middle of the blade, because you're this is going to be straight here.
Okay.
So my handy dandy little cutter here is really cool for making all kinds of things. They make really great carrot sticks. If you take a cucumber and you core out the seeds, you can slide a carrot in there, and then you chop that up, and it makes little toonies, is what we call them. They look just like toonies. So it's a kind of a fun little tool for any kind of decorating. Oh, did you get it? Is it bleeding? Let's
No.
see before you start cutting again.
No.
Ooh, super lucky. Okay, keep your fingers out of the way of the knife. There we go. Be cautious.
That's what I did last time.
There we go. So we're going to take just a few second break here. We're going to finish cutting up these potatoes. When we come back, we'll show you how to season them. One of the ways that you can get your butter, because if you saw the board, we need butter, melted butter, how to get it on your potatoes. This is the tedious, my not favorite way to do it. I have an easier way to do it, but some people think that it's too much butter. So you just take a pastry brush and you just brush it on. I find this very tedious as we have a pretty big family, and normally we do a lot more potatoes than this. So you just brush it on there, relatively simple. You don't need scads of butter, and there we go. So I'm going to melt the rest of my butter, and I'm going to show you the way that I like to do the butter on the potatoes. Well, here we are, and I've just finished melting the butter on the stove, the rest of it, and I'm going to show you my second method, which is my favorite method because it's just easier. And it's just, you pour your butter over. You have to kind of guess. I used a little over a quarter pound of butter for this. I pour my butter kind of all over on my potatoes, and then I just toss. It's a little simpler, kind of coats them better. I find it coats them better. And we're going to put them into a single layer on our baking sheet.
That looks really good.
Yeah, this is enough for our whole family for supper.
What is parsley for?
Oh, parsley is just, it looks nice. It's a kind of a garnish, but it's a garnish that you put on now. Again, we had our dried parsley that my mom gave me. And my fingers are all buttery, so I'm going to get Justin to do the seasoning.
Okay.
So why don't you open up our seasoning salt and maybe the smaller holes, because you don't want to dump it out.
If you don't have seasoning salt, you could use this.
The Clamato rimming mixture. A friend of mine gave me that, and I'm actually out of seasoning salt.
Okay.
So go ahead, Justin, and sprinkle it all over. I'll tell you when it's not enough or too much. Just give her. You know what? Let's open the bigger side. That's going to take 52 years. Just be more careful now, though, because it's really going to come out big time. Okay, everywhere, all over. Okay, that looks good. Now Justin's going to use his fingers, and he's going to sprinkle parsley all over. We'll use all of that parsley. That looks about right. That's really nice. Look at that sprinkle action. Hey, Justin, did you know that French fries that weren't actually first cooked in France?
No.
Yeah, do you know where they were cooked?
No.
They were cooked in Greece. Perfect. Look at that. Look at that sprinkle action. So now you're going to have to grab a set of scissors, because that's not open yet.
Okay.
Our garlic. I like to add a little bit of garlic to my potatoes, because I'm kind of a real fan of garlic.
Okay.
So open up our garlic there. And you're just going to use your fingers again to just pinch and sprinkle, but don't go crazy on garlic. Garlic can be a little... I got a text, and that's why Johnny Cash was playing on my phone. And Justin did put garlic on, but I'm going to put a little bit more just to kind of show you, just kind of sprinkling it on. And this might seem like a waste of time, but because you're not using the brush, where I'm going to put these back in here, and I'm going to give them another shake before my butter gets too cold and starts to solidify on the potatoes. So we just want to get those spices nice and mixed in there. Perfect. Again, we're going to spread them out, and we're going to put them in the oven. Now I have my oven preheated to 400 degrees, which is why I'm also using a metal pan. You can't really put glass at 400 degrees, but you want your potatoes to cook quite quick because you want a nice crisp on them. so that, you know, they're crispy on the outside and nice and tender, so that you don't want them to dry out in the middle, because then they kind of taste gross. They kind of taste like old shoe leather. So we're going to get our camera girl to pause the camera, and she's going to move around, and I'm just going to show you going into the oven, and I'll show you the position in the oven to put them in. So here we are at the oven. Justin's about to put these yummy potatoes into the oven. So go ahead, Justin. And as you can see, our racks kind of in the middle, a little bit closer to the bottom. You want a good heat on the bottom of them. Go ahead and pull your rack out there, Justin. And pop those potatoes down. And you want it in the center of your oven, so that it gets heated from all the way around. And we're going to come back in about 20 minutes to give them a stir. We're going to stir them after 20 minutes, and then probably every 15 minutes until they're done. They take anywhere from a half an hour to an hour, depending on how many potatoes you're cooking, the size of the potatoes. So we will keep you updated how long it took these ones to cook. We're going to show you our yummy spicy dip for our potatoes. It's quite delicious. So we'll be back in 20 minutes. Take our potatoes out of the oven and give them a quick stir. So go ahead, Justin. There we go. So take an oven mitt. Ooh. Yeah, blast heat coming out of there. Take them out. Maybe use 2 oven mitts, please. I want to make sure you already got a cut. We don't want to burn you while we're at it. Quick trip to emergency. Okay, pull your potatoes out, and you have to do it quickly. You don't want to leave your oven door open too long, because all that heat is leaving. So pop that up on the stove. So sorry if the camera jiggles a little bit. I just want to get in there and show what Justin's doing.
One got off.
Oh, one escaped. So we're just going to turn them over, flip them over. Make sure they're spread out again. Good. That looks really good, Justin. Good. Pop them back in the oven. Spread them out nice and even first. And pop them back in the oven. Okay, here we go to jiggly camera again. Alright, we're back, and what we're going to do now is make our spicy dip, and it's very yummy. And I have my recipe over here, so if I keep looking over here, it's because I'm looking at my recipe. I haven't made this too often. So basically what we need is we need 2 cups of sour cream. My recipe actually calls for 1, but because we like dip, we're going to make a double recipe of that. Justin, what I want you to do is I want you to measure into our measuring cup here 2 cups of sour cream. So grab yourself a spoon out of there. Okay,
it's a little bit watery.
Oh, well, stir it. That happens to sour cream. Just stir it really, like, give her. Oh, he's even splashing now. Okay, let's get a little bit more in here.
Get that all in there.
Yeah, that looks about right. That looks like probably 2 cups. So we're going to pop this into our bowl. My kids tend to like spicy things. If you don't like spicy things, you can just use bacon bits, chives, sour cream. Some people prefer yogurt to sour cream. I don't, but some people do. We're going to need another spoon, because now we need, what do we need? A half a cup of Caesar salad dressing. So grab a spoon. We'll just use the same thing. We don't want to dirty a bunch of dishes. So if you look here, Justin, here's half a cup. So just fill up with Caesar, no, not sour cream, Caesar dressing in there. A half a cup. Right down here. See it? Excellent. Now, one of the things that we're supposed to use is we are supposed to use Parmesan cheese. And I think the last time that I made Parmesan cheese, I used the last of it. But this Caesar dressing actually has Parmesan, so hopefully it won't turn out too bad. So our next ingredients that we're going to use is we're going to use, I have crushed chili. You can use chili flakes, you can use crushed chilies. This is crushed chilies. These aren't chili flakes. Or you can use chili powder.
Smell kind of bad.
They smell bad. No, they don't. They smell like chilies. My recipe for 1 serving of this is a 1/4 teaspoon. So we're going to use a 1/2 teaspoon of our chili. And I think most people here like it fairly warm. Just the littlest ones of us probably don't, so we'll just give them sour cream. And our next ingredient is chives. Now, I don't really have a measurement on this. You can also use green onion tops. Okay, so we're just going to whisk this together.
We're going to put this in the fridge for about an hour.
So our potatoes are done, and I just wanted to also thank everybody who watches and subscribes and likes and everything else. It helps, and I really appreciate any advice that you guys give. Today we have a new camera person. Jaylen volunteered to do the camera work today, and if anybody does have any advice on publishing to iBooks or whatever, I would really appreciate it. We will be doing out a video again next week. I think that that's about it. So we're going to get our tasters here. I think our potatoes should be cool enough now. You can see that they're not totally greasy. They're not making our paper towel too greasy. And we will be right back. Here we are with our tasters. As you can see, our boys have handsome haircuts. They all went for a haircut this weekend, and we're going to try it. Okay. So this dip here is a little spicy. Our camera person, Jaylen, said that it's not too terrible, and she's going to come over here and she's going to taste too. Oh, wait a minute. She already did taste. You already tasted? You're as bad as your brother. Okay, so we're going to try and taste it. If you are afraid to taste this, Jaylen, is it super hot?
Not really.
Okay, so if you guys want to try our little spicy dip.
But the potatoes they're hot.
So these ones that are sitting on the towel, let's give Jamie, how about this little one?
Okay.
You want to taste it? You want to taste the dip?
Mm-hmm. Go
ahead. Okay, go ahead guys, grab a potato that's here and watch your arms there that you don't burn yourself on the pan.
Yum! This is yummy.
How do they taste, guys?
Good.
So this is good if you can make actually ahead. You can actually refrigerate it, and then all you have to do is throw them in the toaster oven or throw them in the oven to reheat them. So if you have hungry teenagers like I do, they can just grab a plateful, throw them in the microwave, throw them in the toaster oven, and they can heat them up and they can eat them really quickly. So it's a good way to utilize at least a somewhat healthy food compared to the frozen French fries or pizza pops or whatever. So anyways, just thank you for watching, and if you subscribe, thank you, and if you like, super thank you, and watch it multiple times. No, I'm just kidding. And I do add all of my videos onto a playlist. You can watch a playlist if you've missed any. I think this is video...
I think it's 8.
I think it's 8 as well. I don't know, I can't remember. But yeah, and we will see you guys next week, and we are doing rice with bacon. You can substitute ground beef if you like. We like to just eat that as a side dish. However, that's basically the same thing that you put in cabbage rolls. So if you learn how to make that, you can make Lazy Man's cabbage rolls. You can make the good old big fat German cabbage rolls. You can make the skinny little Ukrainian style cabbage rolls. You can just eat the rice and bacon. Quite frankly, I love it. It's delicious. So we'll see you in a week, and you guys have a good week. Say bye.
Bye.
Bye.